Buchanan, let's stay on McCain for a minute. Is his biggest danger is that he look like part of the bailout team. He looks part of the Goldman Sachs recovery effort.
I think he's got a real danger there, Chris. He cannot be perceived as one of those who came back to Washington to save Wall Street. I think he's got to be perceived as the defender of middle America, something of a populist. I think the way he conducted himself at the Rick Warren serial meeting there was outstanding. If he can do that, I think he can win this. His problem is Obama can win this by simply removing the negative image of Obama that Americans hold because of some of the comments and things Obama has said that have been reinforced by Republican attack ads that he really is not one of us. So McCain may have to go after Obama a little bit.
Well, let's talk about that. Pat, you first. Can Barack Obama, a man of elite education, if not elite background, break into the middle class and talk regular? Can he talk to regular people in their kitchens tonight, in their living rooms?
I think he can do it, Chris, if he comes off as a non-Adlai Stevenson, a Jack Kennedy, looking in the camera saying this Republican philosophy, that's what caused this disaster. They weren't thinking about middle America. And to be tough and to be a foreign policy leader, I'm not talking about belligerent, tough, strong, disciplined, somebody that when you look at him you say, I think that guy can stand up to Putin, and he doesn't look like the radical I've been hearing about. That's the way Barack Obama can win this debate if he doesn't let McCain rattle him and he comes off as a Jack Kennedy.
You know, back in the old days, we thought because of Marshall McLuhan and our training in the media, Andrea and Pat, that the cool candidate always won because Jack Kennedy was cool and he seemed to win those debates. But everybody thinks that Barack is too cool. In other words, there he is with the shades, right, getting on the plane, a little bit too elegant, a little bit too proud of his own bearing. Is that a problem, that he's just too cool for words?
I think
he's got to warm it up. I think, Chris, that he's got to warm it up. He's got to be passionate. He's got to show how much he cares. He's got to connect with Reagan Democrats and Hillary Clinton Democrats. And he's got to be Ronald Reagan. This is the closest simile, I think, for what he has to do, is be what Ronald Reagan was in 1980 when he said, there you go again, and showed that Jimmy Carter, the incumbent, the old-timer, if you will, even though their ages were not, Reagan was older than Carter, but he's got to show that the Washington insider is not the person relevant to America, and that he, as a newcomer to the national scene, was someone who is credible to be commander-in-chief.
Chris, I think he cannot be a diffident, meandering wonk like we saw over at that Rick Warren thing. He has got to be focused. He's got to be right on the issues. And again, tough, crisp, and cool. Kennedy wasn't any wimp, but he was cool.